Opposition MP JAMUS believes there is a strong behavioural case for relaxing the mask mandate outdoors. Getting ready for HBL, we find out from parents how they're preparing their children and themselves for next week. A Singaporean living in Melbourne tells us what it felt like when the earth started shaking this morning. Good evening, you're watching The Big Story. I'm Haryanto Diman. Now you can subscribe to the Straits Times channel so you never miss a single episode. To reduce hospital transmission and preserve hospital capacity, visits to the wards will be suspended for 4 weeks from this Friday, September 24th to October 23rd. But these 4 patient groups can receive visitors on a case-by-case basis assessed by the hospital. They can only have 1 pre-designated visitor with 1 visit per day. Patients in critical condition may be allowed up to 5 pre-designated visitors with a maximum of 2 at the patient's bedside at any one time. And all approved visitors, regardless of vaccination status, must produce a valid negative ART or PCR test result obtained within 24 hours before each visit. And with more COVID-19 cases presenting pre-symptomatically or asymptomatically, testing is needed to reduce the risk of transmission at emergency departments. And so, also from September 24th, there will be mandatory ART testing for patients in ED beds for prolonged observation in the short stay unit or extended diagnostic and treatment unit, as well as those required to undergo mask-off assessment and/or procedures lasting for 15 minutes or more. Accompanying people allowed to stay with the patients throughout the 30-minute observation period will also be subjected to an ART. These tests will be subsidized until the end of this year. Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong said today that Singapore is doing its best to scale up its COVID-19 operations and ensure all patients are well cared for. In a Facebook post describing a visit to the COVID-19 Case Management Task Group Operations Office yesterday, he detailed that this group works round the clock administering the entire process for patients. And that includes assigning them to appropriate care facilities, arranging for transport and briefing them on what they need to do, especially if they are recovering at home. In the same post, PM Lee also noted this is a stressful time for those with family members who have COVID-19, adding some had written to him to express their frustrations with the current situation. As at yesterday, there are 1,109 COVID-19 patients in hospital. 147 are serious cases requiring oxygen supplementation and 17 in critical condition in ICU. Of those who have fallen very ill, 135 are seniors above 60 years old. In a Facebook post this week, MP for Sengkang GRC JAMUS called for Singapore to keep revisiting its stance towards mask wearing as the COVID-19 situation develops here. His view, we should move towards relaxing our outdoor masking rules, except where there is still close contact, like in markets and other crowded spaces. Mr. Lim, though, insists on strict adherence indoors. Acknowledging that masks are an important tool in our COVID-19 fight, he said that we can evolve our COVID-19 policy to pay more attention to indoor air quality, especially when we treat the disease as endemic. He added, in an ideal world, people would keep their masks on at all times. But in reality, keeping the mask on constantly is stifling, and there are clear signs of mask fatigue. Here to weigh in is infectious diseases specialist Dr. Leong Ho Nam from the Rofi Clinic. Welcome back to the show, Doctor. Doctor, what do you make of Mr. Lim's points that transmission risk in open air settings is low, as well as what he said about mask fatigue?
I really welcome Professor Lim's comments because it is really one way where we can take this discussion further. When we actually have a discussion further, we understand the problems and the science of it better. So I appreciate Professor Lim bringing this up. However, I just want to be very cautious to everyone. The science for this transmission outdoors isn't good. as in we don't have solid science to say there is or there isn't transmission. Overall, we think there is significant transmission outdoors, and there is a transmission occurs with a very transient contact. If we take masks off, in return, we can actually have an outdoor spread. Now, I want to bring you back 1 year ago. 1 year ago in the Rose Garden at the White House, it was a mask-off event with a virus that's less transmissible. So at that Rose Garden, there was a transmission, there was a super spreading event, and many people fell sick because of that. So we don't want that Rose Garden effect to happen onto our garden city. Because if everyone were to take off the mask off just like the Rose Garden, there'll be many, many cases. Now, come back again, the science to say that there's a lot of transmission outdoors isn't good. But like all academics would say, in the absence of evidence, that this isn't evidence of absence. Just because we haven't done much research on it, it doesn't mean that there is no transmission. So, but Professor Lim is right. All of us are tired. We are really very tired of the mask. But I want to take you to the healthcare workers. Look at the A&Es now, 6 hours wait. They're talking about 1 day before you can possibly get a bed. The healthcare workers are very, very tired. There's a plea going out to the public from Professor Terence Key, a friend of mine from Singapore General Hospital, say, please stay in. We are really burdened. Our hospital system is being stretched. And I think Minister Ong Ye Kang kind of sugarcoated, saying that we can still cope. But I want to lay the facts out to the public. I think the healthcare system may just break very quickly. So the least we can do for the healthcare workers is to wear the mask on. You see, the healthcare workers are putting their best foot forward to protect as many people and help as many people as possible. Then I'm going to ask you to put your best mask forwards and keep it on as long as possible so as to cut down the workload for the healthcare workers.
So, Dr. Leong, help us understand as we, our plans to transition into endemicity. So, under what conditions then would it be okay for us to be masked off, say in 3 scenarios, outdoors, indoors, or even for good, in terms of duration? What kind of duration are we looking at?
Indoor masking will stay on for a long time. And the studies have shown consistently indoor transmission rates very, very high. So I expect that to be one of the last things to go. Outdoor, I do expect it to go away when the numbers of new cases there are starts coming down and plateauing at the number which the healthcare system can cope. If the healthcare system can cope, we can even consider masks off. Certainly not now, perhaps 9 months later, possibly. Masks off altogether, that's when everyone that can be infected is infected or has been vaccinated. When that level is achieved, then perhaps we can take off masks altogether. That may unfortunately take 1 to 2 years. And honestly, I hate predicting. For all the predictions which I've made for COVID-19 since the beginning, I've got them all wrong. So chances are I'm going to get this all wrong as well.
Well, thank you so much for your candid sharing, Dr. Leong, and of course for setting aside time to speak with us. That was Dr. Leong Ho Nam, an infectious diseases specialist from the Rofi Clinic at Mount Elizabeth Novena. Across the causeway, 80% of Malaysia's adult population are now fully vaccinated. The next step, to inoculate teenagers and roll out booster shots to high-risk groups. Malaysia's vaccination milestone comes as it reported close to 15,000 new cases today. According to its health ministry, as at last night, around 51% of COVID-19 patients are on ventilators and some 75% of them are in ICU. Our Malaysia correspondent has more on what this means for the country's reopening plans.
We are expecting the economy to fully reopen by the end of October, when we will move to an endemic phase, just like the same strategy that Singapore is following right now. All the various states in Malaysia are right now in different phases of the 4-stage exit plan. But by end of October, because of the vaccination rates, once it's sort of uniformed out, All of the adult population in Malaysia are expected to be vaccinated by the end of October. So we are expecting all the states to be in phase 4. So there will be a full reopening of the economy by the end of October, early November, according to the projection. Yes. So I think once the economy fully reopens, one of the first countries where the border reopening will be pursued is definitely with Singapore. So I think efforts towards that will begin towards November or December, or by the end of the year, we'll start to see concrete efforts in that direction already.
Elsewhere, according to its tourism minister, Australia plans to open its international borders by Christmas at the latest. The projected scenario, Australians will be able to travel abroad with no restrictions on the destination once the vaccination rate in their respective home state hits 80%. The government is also exploring opening travel bubbles with several countries to reduce quarantine time. New Zealand's Director General of Health said the country may never get back to having 0 cases in the community. Barring a small number of infections in February, it had been largely virus-free. That is until August, which saw the latest outbreak of the Delta variant. Its biggest city, Auckland, is still in lockdown, and it accounted for all 23 new cases today. Back home, from this coming Monday, primary 1 to 5 pupils will start full home-based learning until the PSLE ends on October 6th. Those in P6, meanwhile, will still be in school for a few days before they go on a study break from this Saturday, September 25th to the 29th, prior to the start of the PSLE on September 30th. Schools will remain open for students who need additional support during HBL, for instance, in cases where their parents are unable to work from home or secure alternative care arrangements. Back with me are 2 parents, Shasi Kumar, a lecturer at ITE who has 2 kids, and Jeremy Huang, who's a civil servant. His 2 children are in P3 and P1. Now, if you remember, both were last on the show back in May to talk about the previous round of HBL. So welcome back to the show, guys. How did your families react to last week's announcement? I mean, it's not the first time that you've had to go through full HBL and a week's lead time as well to prepare. But do you guys have to scramble nonetheless? Shasi, why don't you start us off first?
I don't think so. We didn't need to scramble because I think we kind of like gotten used to it. I think this is the normal, right? To expect the unexpected. So in terms of the kids, I think they are not complaining. You know, anything that enables them to sleep in a little bit later and stuff like that. So they've got no problems. I think we've just got to live with this, and we didn't really prepare for anything, so we're just going with the flow next week.
Jeremy, what about you? Because I understand you have 2 kids in primary school.
Yeah, same as Sasi, we don't really have to scramble. What happened was that I think moving forward, I have to make arrangement with my wife, because right now it's 50%. So my wife is working, so we have to arrange who will be at home, who will be in office. So rather than, in terms of logistics, the materials, the equipment and all that, I guess we are ready. So I think towards the weekend, we will get them ready and prepare whichever password and all that. Just that who will be staying at home, taking care of them, guiding them and all that, that has to be worked out between me and my wife lah. Yeah, but my kids were pretty happy that HBO.
Well, looks like the children have nothing to complain. Now, guys, we last spoke in May. Tell us, how have your families been coping, especially with the measures in schools? Jeremy?
For me, I think my kids recently they were being issued the ART kits. Personally, I felt it might be challenging for the younger ones, especially my daughter. She's in P1, so I taught her how to use it and to use the swab stick and put it up her nostrils and roll it a few times. Unfortunately, she cried due to discomfort in her nostril. So I was wondering how many kids will encounter the same experience as her. As for my son in primary 3, he's okay. He tried to do it himself, and I think I find the challenging part will be for the younger kids lah. Yeah.
Right. Shasi, similar experience for you as well?
Well, I tell you a story. My son and myself, we were on home QO because my son's school, one of the students was affected by the COVID and the mother tongue class. So he is considered a close contact. So the experience was home QO, me and my son. So he has had experience with the ART kids every day, like during that time, right? The 14 days or so. So yeah, he's more experienced in that. My daughter as well, we've tried that on for her, the ART test kits, and I think Jeremy is right. The younger ones, they can find it a little bit painful because obviously the nose it's shorter, right? You got to go 2 cm or something like that. So it's a little bit more difficult for them.
Well, guys, I can only imagine the challenge that your children have to go through. But thank you so much for taking time off to come onto the show again to speak with me. Now, if you're a parent as well watching, we hope you and your children are well prepared for the upcoming HBL and exams. In non-COVID-19 news, the man who stabbed his ex-wife to death at ITE College Central in July 2018 has been sentenced to life imprisonment. 69-year-old Sid Che Heng was convicted of a reduced murder charge last week after he indicated that he would not be contesting the charge. The couple divorced in 2011, and the court heard that Sid blamed his wife's alleged infidelity for their marriage ending and was unhappy with the division of their matrimonial assets. He had been demanding money from her before the incident. COE premiums for cars ended higher in the latest tender, with prices in categories B and E rising to their highest in 6 years since June 2015. Our senior transport correspondent has more.
Now, if you look at the Cat A, which is for cars up to 1600 and 130 bhp, and the COE for these cars have risen, but by a much more subdued manner. Today, it went up only by $1,000, right? But in Cat B and Open, which are for more luxury and discretionary cars, cars that it may be the second or third car in your garage, the premium for those cars have gone up quite a bit, $5,000 or more. What this bodes for car buyers is that those who are buying mass market cars, I think the premium is still fairly reasonable given the tight supply of COEs. Those who are bidding for the larger cars, the luxury cars, B and E, Open, well, they can afford it. They can well afford it. So I think all the best to them, and they are actually contributing to our national coffers, and we thank them for that.
A magnitude 6.0 earthquake struck near the city of Melbourne in Australia on Wednesday morning, causing damage to buildings and homes, even sending shockwaves as far away as Sydney and Canberra. There have been no reports of injuries. Earthquakes are quite unusual for the country, and this one appears to have caught everybody by surprise.
It was pretty scary, actually. I live on the top story of a three-floor apartment building, and during the earthquake, you can feel the whole building shaking, and stuff started flying off the shelves, and my dogs were a little bit terrified. So I wasn't quite sure what was going on because I never experienced anything quite like that. Living in Singapore most of my life, I felt the building shake for about 20 seconds, and it stopped as suddenly as it started. It wasn't a gradual kind of stopping. It just started and stopped after about 20 seconds. We didn't really know what was happening, and I think any longer, or if it was a more serious earthquake, there definitely would have been more damage around in the neighborhood.
In his first speech to the United Nations, the US President Joe Biden called for unity. It comes as allies have criticized the US's withdrawal from Afghanistan, and France has expressed outrage over Washington's submarine deal with Australia.
We are not seeking a new Cold War or a world divided into rigid blocks. The United States is ready to work with any nation that steps up and pursues peaceful resolution to shared challenges, even if we have intense disagreements in other areas.
And before I go, Netflix has confirmed it will buy the rights to the works of Roald Dahl, the author of children's classics like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory and Fantastic Mr. Fox. They are my favorites, definitely. Now, Netflix said the partnership brings Dahl's much-loved stories to fans in creative new ways. Definitely something I'm looking forward to. Now, those are our top stories for today. For more news and videos, visit straitstimes.com and remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting the red button below. Once again, I'm Haryanto Diman. See you tomorrow on The Big Story.